Okay. Before you start your advertising campaign, first of all, you must segment. That is your target audience. Divide it and then target and position your audience. Okay. According to certain characteristics. Okay. So good advertising is all about hitting customers where they live. But before you can craft a message to send, you have to know what address to send it to or who. Okay? Here's a profound idea. People are different. They are different. So a message that turns one person on, that makes one happy, isn't it? That turns one on. May leave another one cold. Others, that message is somebody can admire that, somebody will say, what kind of advert is this one, isn't it? It's so boring. So not everybody is likely to be interested in an idea, product or service your client wants to sell. Okay. So before an advertiser can decide a campaign, should say the advertiser needs to devote a lot of thought to identifying the target of the message. Okay. Um, the process of identifying the types of people who are most likely to want your product and then tailor your efforts to satisfy their unique needs. That's now your targeting audience, isn't it? Okay. And then target marketing is therefore the process of identifying the types of people who are most likely to want your product and then tailoring something to them. Okay. We do this when we use the what we call STP. STP stands for segmenting, targeting, and positioning. Okay. Let's see. So that process that okay, segment or subdivides the population to help you think about who are and are not the potential customers of your product or service. You don't just go making noise. And the potential audience of the advertising. So targets or peaks are segments for the campaign that will be the focus of the advertising. Okay. And then three, positions determines how to think about the relationship between your product and the customer audience with the purpose of distinguishing your product from competition. Okay, what we're saying is number one, which is segment or subdivides population, segment. That's number one, right? You segment or subdivide your population to help you think about who are and who are not, right? Yeah, potential. Targeting picks the segments for the campaign that will be the focus of who, what are the segments, okay? And then positioning, that is to say, positions or determines how to think about the relationship between your product and those, okay? So these important steps, STP, segmentation, segmenting, targeting, and positioning. So STP, that's segmentation or segmenting, targeting, and positioning, gives a framework sort of for understanding who are your customers, how many customers are there, where do they live, how do they spend their time, Why do they buy? Eh? Okay. Um, so the key point for this whole thing was, like, we also have, we'll come back to other levels, but we're still on segmentation. Um, First, segmentation is the process of dividing a larger market eh, into smaller pieces based on one or more meaningful and measurable shared characteristics. It's crucial to slice up the pie. You know the pie, right? You slice the pie so you can focus your resources on the customers whose needs you have the best chance of satisfying. So these are benefits of segmentation approach. Mhm. And segmentation or segmenting the population gives you a concrete vision of your potential customer. For example, you can target the upper income and married bachelors, eh? Those who have money. Okay. Segmenting the population provides focus and specificity on those people most likely to buy your product. It's better to find the 5 million people, better to find a smaller number who can buy than a big number who will not buy, isn't it? Okay. So segmenting the population lets you estimate the number of people in a given category. Yeah. Okay, how do we segment? Number one, there is demographic segmentation. Okay. Demographics, these are measurements or measurable aspects of the population. Each key variable is usefully or is usually defined in terms of a small number of categories or ranges. For example, age data might record the number of 30 to 40-year-olds in the aggregate rather than, so you can provide it 10, 20, 21 to 30. Yes. So these are widely used demographic measures. Gender is okay, age, life stage, e.g., large empty nest parents who have more time for each other now that their kids are in college. That's life stage, life stage. And then household income, how much? Education, what type of education? Occupation, uh, or we can also have religion, socioeconomic status. Okay, you segment according to that. So, while demographics uh, can be an effective way to begin to understand your potential consumers, um, there would be need to dig deeper to identify the specific audience for their branding campaign. Okay, okay. Some product categories can move forward with demographic information only. Services such as news, entertainment, and sports media need more information to fine tune the targets. For example, um, how do you know that the news you are is for the youth or the program is for the youth? The kind of news you present it. Yes. So determine. Um, so apart from demographic segmentation, there is also geographical segmentation, right? Yes. There are three roles here. One, customer and market characteristics. Geography defines key aspects of climate, culture, and consumer density. Think about where people buy what you want to sell, right? Okay. Where people buy like bread, And can you go and put bread, for example, where can you sell it? Eh? You want to find a poor place. But if you put a carpentry shop, anybody can go and buy a bread carpentry shop. No. Okay. And so the news items and ads served on the okay need to be relevant to the geographical profile of a registered user. Okay, number two, advertising channel or channels. Some advertising stages or strategies such as newspapers and direct mail are strongly tied to geography. For example, automobile companies tailor their ads by geography. Yes, you can go and advertise someone in the village to buy a plane in Malaga. Can you advertise where to buy planes? Private jets. Okay. Number three, you also think of okay. So or like automakers purchase TV time on a local cable station and tailor the ads based on where people live. Let's say uh, you can advertise in a local like Zio, you know Zio community radio. It means you want people in that area to understand. That means for only monkey people, isn't it? Okay. Um, so that's and you know the newspaper they can be distributed somewhere. Okay. Product distribution, many companies, especially small and medium-sized businesses, have a regional scope. Okay, so even national companies like in America, the Walmart, want to assess how many people live within 10 miles of a store. Okay, so those are the three. So the most geographic segmentation schemes use definitions the government created for census, postal, etc. Okay. Right. Okay. We talked of the three. Eh? Yes. So you can segment by geography, eh? Or demography, and then you can also segment your mentioned two so far, isn't it? Um, Demographic segmentation, and then geographical segmentation. Yes, which we have discussed, isn't it? We have discussed too. Then a third one eh, is called psychographic segmentation. Okay, psychographic is psychology. Eh? So while demographics are useful, advertisers often need to slice and dice even further traditional demographic arguments or segments such as gender, age, and income provide only a rough estimate of the attitudes and desires of different groups. So marketers often give consumer groups labels that capture something about their lifestyles and motivations. Eh? So imagine an advertiser that defines a segment as recent moms, recent mothers. Eh? Recent mothers, this label is a label, implies that all women who have recently given birth are fairly similar and that they all will respond the way to the advertising message. Same way to advertising. How accurate is that assumption? Okay. Just accurate. Is it accurate or not? Okay. So psychographics refers to dimensions that segment consumers in terms of personality, eh, values, attitudes, and opinions. Okay. So while demographics can divide people along specific, often quantitative dimensions, psychographics captures the reasoning and emotion behind people's decisions. So this information also enables advertisers to capture the themes, priorities, and inside meanings that a specific taste culture identifies with. For example, what people who take a chance, you think they're not the same people who take brand sometimes. Okay, you distinguish them, huh? So you cannot put an advert about brand in a Kachaso place. No. Okay. So we, a few things that we need to know um, is that okay, they mentioned that segment consumers in terms of personality, values, attitudes. These demographics and cannot be measured by numbers and the likes, but they will need to be understood. Use psychoanalysis methods. Okay. Okay. So sometimes marketing and advertising firms they create their own psychographic segmentation system with cute names or acronyms for the segment. They can create something else um, that identifies with the people. Have you ever heard the word chibag? Chibag. Yeah. It's not chibag. What is it? Which kind of beer then? Huh? Chibag is chibuku, right? Huh? But that's somebody can use those as uh So advertisers can also use those things, okay? Uh, okay, the following are some of the well-known psychographic segmentation tools that advertisers use to divide up their markets. Uh-huh. These are one, we have what we call values and lifestyle. Mhm. These reflect a real world pattern that explains the relationship between personality traits and consumer behavior. Okay? Values and lifestyle. So VAS use psychology to analyze the dynamics and underlying consumer preferences and choices. Okay? So this system arranges groups vertically by their resources, including such factors as income, education, energy levels, and eagerness to buy, and horizontally by self-orientation. Three self-orientations make up the horizontal dimension. One, consumer with a principal orientation make purchase decisions guided by strong internal belief system. This is psychology. Consumers with a principle. People with a status orientation base their decision on what they think their peers think. Uh-huh. And action or self-oriented individual buy products to have an impact on their world around them. So there is a principle because it's on principle I buy this one. So it's about you. While status you won't be seen. Hmm? What others think about it around you, isn't it? Yeah. If I dress, if I do this hairstyle, I think my friends will look at me like I'm cool, right? But then action, you say, what impact will this have? Okay. Okay. So the top value values and lifestyle system group are successful consumers with many resources. So this group is concerned with social issues. There are people who think they're top class, right? Or who are top class. Okay. Mm. Uh, so we also have that The next three groups, that's of the, apart from those who have mentioned of action, there are other next three groups of psychoanalysis. Okay, they have sufficient sources but differ in their outlook. Okay, these people have it's based on resources but differ on the way they look. For example, they are fulfilled, this meaning they are satisfied, reflective, and comfortable. They tend to be practical and value function. They think it's okay, they are happy. Eh? Then there are others we call achievers. These are career oriented and prefer predictability to risk or self discovery. And then we have experiencers, are impulsive and young, and they enjoy offbeat or risk experiences. So you have an advertiser, you have to know who are fulfilled, okay, who are the achievers. My is targeting experiences, okay, those who just want to experience, right? Experiences. Then there are the last four categories. Believers. These have strong principles and favor proven brands. Okay. This can I buy this one? Is it better than this? Then the strivers are similar to achievers but have fewer resources, so they are very concerned about the approval of others. Makers are action oriented and tend to focus their energies on self sufficiency. They will often be found working on their cars. Have you seen people working on their cars alone? Eh? Strugglers are at the bottom of the economic ladder. They are most concerned with meeting the needs of the moment and have limited ability to acquire anything beyond the basic goods needed for survival. So, value for lifestyle, value for lifestyles has helped companies to target maybe experiences or target properly who to target. So then number fourth is behavioral segmentation. So we had demographic, geographic, psychographic, psychoanalysis, right? Now we have behavioral. So behavior segmentation slices the market in terms of participation or non-participation in an activity. Sometimes this involves identifying the different ways consumers use products in a category. Yeah. So segmenting by behavior often singles out heavy users of a product because even though these consumers may be relatively small in number, they often are key to sales in a category. Indeed, there is a lot of truth to the so-called 80 over 20 rule. What is the 80 over 20 rule? Um, 80 over 20 rule. Just a moment. Okay, this is appealing to the customer who values the social or aesthetic statement a brand makes and often what others will think about him. Normally, it's only and one. You should see what I'm doing, eh? Eh, eh. Chance, but that's true, isn't it? What do you wear? You normally, if somebody does, people don't appreciate, they're laughing at you. Would you put again the following day? No. Okay. Uh, uh. Yeah, sometimes you can't at all. Yeah, no, that's true. Um, wow. So we are on the segmentation of the market, well, demographical, geographical, and psychographic. Voila. So segmentation, as we said, by behavior often singles out heavy users of product because even though these segments might be relatively a small number, they often are key to sales in category. Indeed, there is a lot of truth to okay, the so-called 80 under 20 rule, which means this is a rough rule of the thumb that says 20% of customer buy 80% of the product. 20% of the customer buy 80% of. Uh, so this is a rough rule of the thumb that says 20% of customers buy 80% of the product. Sure enough, for example, in Malai,
The behavior that you are discussing here is concerning buying,
yes,
not the behavior of people.
buying behavior. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. Um, um, okay. So that was segmentation. Now let's go to targeting. Targeting is defining who customers are in order to increase the cost effectiveness of advertising. Increase the cost effectiveness of advertising. Make it advertising is cost effective. You don't spend much unnecessarily. You know that you are spending on the yes. So you have target. So most advertising channels have a cost. That is a strong function of the amount of exposure, e.g., the number of people who see the ad, eh? regardless of whether audience members are potential customers or not. So, targeting helps define who the customers are. This section explores how the advertiser. Okay. For example, profile according to buying power. Okay. Two, according to likelihood of buying your product or service. C, according to likelihood of being attracted by a potential ad. So buying power, chances that they can buy and that they can be attracted by a potential ad. Okay. So you also have to look at, you have to assess the attractiveness of each potential target. Select segments that are both attractive and likely to have a similar favorable response to a given advertising message. So there is attractiveness and likelihood to have a similar favorable response to a given advertising message. Okay, what are the properties of a good target? Number one, measurable. Key variables easily and accurately identify and assess the target. Accessible, the target group must be reachable by advertising. Profitable, the target group must have sufficient size, willingness to buy, and ability to pay. Distinguishable, the target group must provide A clearly differentiated segment in terms of percentage of potential customers and coherence of response to potential advertising messages. Okay. These are the properties of a good target: measurable, accessible, profitable, distinguishable. Okay? Yes. So you should have the capacity to expand these points. How do you expand them? Okay. Um, so number one, behavioral targeting. Let advertisers know that you like or like it or not. Advertisers know what you like it or not. So the segmentation, targeting, and position process is evolving rapidly. That is, as new advances in technology enable advertisers to identify and reach consumers where they live, work, and especially surf. Alright, yeah? What do you understand by behavior targeting, Chance?
This is when advertisers notice their assets by looking at the behavior of the consumer.
Yes. This is to know what advertisers know what the one likes or not, isn't it? Uh, so companies define and manage. Companies define and manage finer and finer segments, smaller and smaller, right? Uh, so they're smaller than in the past. They were huge, right? But now, so companies can process terabytes of data, consumers, and new ad channels such as. Okay, yeah. Have you seen the pancake? This is pancake or more fire? Yeah. Then groups, isn't it? One day, those are tailored to and advertised according to. So behavior targeting refers to putting ads in front of people customized to their internet use. It's become very easy for marketers to tailor the ads you see based on prior websites you are visiting. You sometimes just open a website, you see ads, isn't it? Yes. So the logic is inescapable. You are more likely to respond and probably appreciate an ad for an idea, product, or service that is relevant to your needs. Okay. Obviously, privacy concerns arise as the advertisers learn more about the sites we visit. Okay. Okay. And then finally, positioning. Yeah. Positioning means developing a strategy to influence how a particular market segment perceives a good or service in comparison to the competition. So positioning increases potential ad effectiveness by clarifying the message. When you say ad, short form for advertising, okay? Not direct, so it's called an ad. So this step is all about defining a space in the mind of the customer consume something that your customer thinks of and associate with the product. Okay. It is all relative. When we say it's all relative, it's all dependent on that person you are trying to target. For example, remember that position doesn't just mean what you target market thinks about your product. Rather, it is about how she thinks about it relative to competitors' products. Okay? Your product is less expensive, performs better, or fits better with the customer lifestyle. So they try to compare with other products. Should I buy this type of cooking oil? Should I buy this type of phone? Why should I go for TNM or Ed? Okay. So positioning often leads to a brand's strategy objectives. Looking back at okay. Uh, so the advertiser might think about potential customers in terms like this. You can think in terms like, do not use the advertised product category. So the company wants to convert non-users to users, grow the market, right? That's one. Uses a computer's version of the advertised product category. So the company wants to gain market share at the expense of computers by creating or capturing brand switchers. Hey, come and buy a product. Leave that one, eh? Use an alternative version of your product in the advertising product category. So the company wants to upsell. That is when we say to upsell, it means strategy a company use to get customers to buy more expensive version of its product. Okay, so get them to buy that, or migrate them to future product variants. Uses the advertised product. So the company wants to increase the frequency or the volume of purchases or reinforce brand loyalty. Okay. Let's look at positioning dimensions. So positioning dimensions, number one, when you're positioning, where you put your advert, where should it be? You look at value, number one, okay? Value first. So what means here, the product reaches price sensitive customers by being low cost. Okay. These people, you look at the price, will they be happy with the price of the commodity, right? If it goes up, what will they be saying? If it goes down, okay. So an example would be, okay, they're giving us examples in their country, in America, that's Walmart, it's a big shop. Uh, People, like in Malawi, you have Sana. People think when you go to Sana, product prices are low, isn't it? Yes. But when you go to buy shops and filling stations, what do you think? They're very expensive, eh? Yes. So, but which prices are in the? So you think at that when you advertise, okay? Okay. So if somebody's selling something at Capital Hotel, the same product you're selling at along the street, vendors, the price will be different, right? Okay. So the product is high performing on the one or more dimensions. That's performance, right? Number two, the product is high performing on the one or more dimensions that the target audience seeks. For example, if you focus on lifestyle or design position, you appeal to the customer who values the social or aesthetic statement a brand makes. Often that what others will think about him or her. Okay. Then functional. Functional solves a specific problem or accomplishes a specific goal for the customer. What is it that somebody has bought? What would help him or her? So they're looking at the function. Okay. 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 semiotics, what does it all mean? It's about science. Okay. So advertising is about communicating meaning. But how do we know what something means? So we want to communicate meaning, but how do we know what something means? So this question is not as obvious or perhaps as crazy as it seems. Very often we make sense of a word or a word, rather, phrase or image because we have learned to associate extremely subtle cultural distinction with it. For example, speaking of standardization or standardizing advertising across cultures, people say, how do you know that what you are communicating to your the target audience is what they want them, they understand it, How do you know? So we use semiotics to find if they can understand or not, or how they should understand. So semiotics is the field of study that looks at the relationship between signs and symbols. Okay. And their role in assigning assignment of meaning. It's a bit noisy. Is the field of study that looks at the relationship between signs and symbols and their role in assignment of meaning. So, like advertisers turn to semiotics to help understand what meanings people assign to specific symbols. This may vary across taste, cultures, and geographies. Okay? For example, when we say a sign, let's have robots, right? A sign does not have anything beyond its meaning, but the robots, the word robot stand, when you say robot, you have seen them, isn't it? Okay? But when you go to the robots, they turn blue or they turn green. What do they tell you? Yeah, those are symbols now. Okay. Okay. Red is a sign. You know that when you see the color red, it is red, you relate. Oh, it's just red. But when you see a red and a robot, it's not just red, it tells you different meaning. That's a symbol now. Okay. So, so advertisers as well, they come to, for example, they might use the image of a cowboy, or they might use the image of a girl or a boy in an advert. Or baby, can they put you eating, for example, the kunipara in an advert? The kunipara, for example. No, they can't. Listen, they will put somebody, because they want the meaning. They are appealing to mothers and the likes, Yeah. But put a person like me eating a kunipara and saying, maybe it's for patients, maybe I'm sick, perhaps. So it's a sign, it's a symbol as well, isn't it? So there are signs and symbols. This task gets interesting because on the surface, many marketing images have virtually no literal connection to the actual products. They'll give you sometimes something which has no connection to the product. Okay. Let's say components of meaning. From a semiotic perspective, every marketing message has three basic components. Yes. An object, a sign or a symbol, and an interpretant. Okay. Object. When this object is in semiotics, an object means the product that is the focus of the message. Okay. like maybe bread, it can be soap. The sign in semiotics, the sensory image that represents the intended meaning of the object. Eh? Uh, so the interpretant is the meaning derived, e.g., is it cool? What? Eh? If somebody is putting on a jeans, torn jeans, is it a cool one? Eh? What does that mean? Okay? So signs relate to objects in one of three ways. One, they can resemble objects, be connected to them. They can resemble objects, be connected to them, or be conventionally tied to them. Okay. Arthur asked a beggar. This book is in the library. It says Science in Contemporary Culture, an introduction to semiotics. Charles Sanders Peirce. So these are the books you can read. Yeah? They'll tell you that, issues like there's an icon. An icon is a sign that resembles the product in some way. E.g., the Apple logo is it an apple? You have seen an Apple computer, right? There's an apple there, isn't it? That one resembles the itself. Then there's an index, is a sign that is connected to a product because they share some property. E.g., they can put on a Red Bull or on some product, they can put something like a KFC. There's a chicken, is it KFC? Okay. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Then the symbol is a sign that relates to a product by either convention or agreed on association. E.g., the green Starbucks logo, Earth Mother. The green on the robot depicts you can go ahead, isn't it? So it's a lot of time, thought, and money go into creating brand names and logos that will clearly communicate a product's image. Okay. So semiotics, you need to understand semiotics to interpret this. You see a lion somewhere. A lion. You have seen a lion on some products, isn't it? Like which product have you ever seen a lion? Yes. Yes. You have seen that one, eh? I was thinking about it. Yes. Okay. When we meet tomorrow, we will remind each other when know your audience, who your audience are. We need to know the audience. In this case, what do we be referring to? We'll be referring to who are the people who are going to benefit from this one. Okay, we'll be discussing source of data, primary versus secondary, type of data, quantitative versus qualitative, and we'll be discussing those issues. Surveys, face-to-face interviews. These are the tools that can be used to collect data in advertising. Okay. Video highlights, ethnography. Okay. What are these? Government sources. You can see internal secondary sources, advantage secondary. You can see there's a link to that investigative part, isn't it?
Yeah.
So these things are interrelated. Remember that the objective of advertising and is a different objective. Okay.